It's a plague of biblical proportions, and not even the mighty lion is exempt. The tsetse fly carries a potentially fatal disease called sleeping sickness that can poison both man and beast. Over time, lions and other wild animals have developed a resistance to the disease. But livestock haven't. So farmers have been unable to develop the ruaha for cattle ranching. Thanks to the flies, the lions remain king here, but they pay in blood. The flies signal the dry season is at its very worst. The brewing battle between the intimate enemies is about to erupt. The ruaha is now as hot as a furnace. The slightest motion demands, even the thinnest sliver of shade is sought after. The buffalo are feeling the stress. They're losing weight and beginning to weaken. Without water, it won't be long before they've lost all their defenses against a pride of hungry lions. As the water holes in the Ruaha National Park disappear, the buffalo along the drying river must journey up to 27 kilometers a day to drink. Traveling in formation gives the weak and dehydrated members of the herd some protection. But in this drought, the lions are gaining power. The pride will need to choose its moment carefully. This Pathfinder bull suspects danger, but first pushes the herd forwards. Steep banks split up the herd, compromising its usual defenses. Buffalo are at greatest risk when they drink, so evolution has left them particularly vigilant. Their open throats can take in almost 30 liters in just 6 minutes. Their nostrils sniff the air for danger, and their sensitive ears listen out for the first sign of trouble. This is just a false alarm from an upstart baboon. But when one buffalo bolts, they all do, responding collectively to the perceived threat like one unified organism. A herd may look random, but it's actually highly organized. The females and calves are in the center, and the bulls on the defensive edges, with experienced pathfinders leading the way. There's also an oxpecker lookout on top. Oxpeckers pick off over 7,000 ticks a day, a hearty reward for the personal service they provide. They also offer the buffalo a bird's-eye view of any approaching danger. The lions have locked on to something. A few bachelors have ventured from the safety of the herd and come down to the water to graze. The oxpeckers are on guard duty. The birds give the signal, but the bull is slow to react. He's lost valuable time, although he's fast. But the tailless bull he overtakes is about to be singled out. To stop the lions from getting a firm anchor hold on his back, the bull must stay facing his enemy. The lions know to avoid the bull's saber-sharp horns, which can easily rip through a hide. This bull has battled with lions before and escaped with his life, but not his tail. Experience has won him another narrow escape. No luck for the lions this time. Several kilometers away, the young lion mother has problems of her own. There are wild dogs in the area. This is a pre-hunt ritual, as they prime themselves for a kill. And they're being tailed by hyenas, hungry for scraps. The dogs and hyenas are a deadly threat to the lion cubs. To throw them off the scent trail, the mother must move her cubs every few days, up to half a kilometer at a time. One by one, she carries them closer to the river to catch up with the rest of her pride. The drought has concentrated several herds around the banks of this disappearing river. Failed buffalo hunts have left the pride hungry. The lions need to eat again, and soon. It'll mean picking an easier target this time. Too many hunts have resulted in nothing, and lions can, and do, starve. Zebra may be fleet of foot, but more importantly, they don't have horns. This is the kind of prey a veteran lioness should be able to tackle on her own. In a solo attack, she clamps on the windpipe, and the victim dies from asphyxiation. The skill of this huntress is a great asset to the Pride. While the lions sleep off their meal, back at their new den, the cubs are just starting theirs. The needs of these growing predators put an extra strain on their mother. Without the help of the Pride, she has the sole burden of feeding herself and her offspring. The cubs don't eat meat yet, but the mother needs to stay well nourished in order to nurse her litter. A prize buffalo could satisfy her young family for a week. But going solo against a herd of buffalo is a risky move. Hundreds of buffalo arrive from all directions to share the last remaining pools of water. There's so little left that they have to drink in shifts. Desperation and competition is fragmenting the group. The herd's defenses are breaking down, and the more vulnerable females and calves risk becoming exposed. The lioness must take advantage of this confusion. She couldn't bring down an adult alone, but she may be able to isolate a calf. The mother has an individual cornered. It's an adult cow. And backup arrives just in time. A veteran female from the main Pride anchors her down. Her claws struggle to get a hold of the tough hide. Now it's the mother's turn to do her part. If she can get a grip on its sensitive nose, the lions can control the buffalo. This is the hardest and most dangerous part of the hunt, because a buffalo's horns can be lethal. Bringing down a buffalo is a matter of careful, fearless teamwork, and there isn't much time left. The anchor is starting to slip. This buffalo manages to escape. But with each attempt, the lions edge a little closer to success. Covered with blood and the scent of lions, the cow's return rouses great curiosity in the herd. And none are more curious than the oxpeckers, who take advantage of the situation. This wound will eventually heal under the drying African sun, leaving the herd with just one more battle scar from its war with the lions. As they get older, buffalo may lose their horns, but no armor can protect them from their most insidious foe, drought. The grass is now gone, and the water nearly so. For every creature, great or small, the journey to find water has become a relentless pilgrimage. But the remaining pools are so muddy and foul that the elephants scorn them. They prefer to dig down below the sand where the water is naturally filtered. Most creatures are barely scraping by, and they're at each other's throats. The mounting misfortune is good news only for the hungry pride. But the lion's appetite is about to get bigger. It's time for the mother to introduce her cubs. At 6 weeks old, they're finally strong enough to keep up with the group. But how will the pride react to 3 new mouths to feed? It's a call for the dominant male. If the cubs weren't his, he wouldn't hesitate to kill them. But as their father, he'll defend the cubs with his life. Joining the pride marks the young cub's greatest rite of passage, the shift from mother's milk to fresh meat. By following their elders on kills, they'll begin to learn valuable lessons of survival. It's no longer the mother's solitary burden to care for her cubs. The pride will now share the responsibility, but it won't be easy. Not only are there more mouths to feed, but the best season for killing big game is nearly over. Soon the rains will come again, and the great herds will be free to leave the banks of the Ruaha. Introductions over, The cubs are taken to a safe location as the pride prepares for battle. This could be the last chance this season for the growing lion pride in the Ruaha National Park to kill a buffalo. The stakes are incredibly high. They need a substantial kill to tide them over when the buffalo head back to the grasslands. They've failed too many times before, but this time the pride pulls out all the stops and attacks as a team. The back hold is secure. It's up to the mother to try to get hold of the head and control the dangerous horns. She clamps on to the buffalo's sensitive nose. If she can find the strength to hold on, it'll be just a matter of time before the buffalo yields. With a twist of the head, the windpipe is sealed. The arrival of the male signifies victory. The lions have finally triumphed. The rest of the pride arrives to share in the spoils. But the hunters will need to regain their strength before they can join in the feast. This is the biggest meal they've had in months, and the first and last taste of buffalo this season. The buffalo sense the coming rain, and they begin to disperse. The deadly season is over. The weakened herd can now escape from the river and its lions. Diminishing water drove these enemies together, and the water's return now allows them to part. Water is the real master of this land. The buffalo can finally gorge on the sweet grasses of the high plains. But when the next drought forces them back to the river, the lions will again be waiting. By then, the cubs will be adolescents, and the adolescents will be experienced hunters, destined to continue the ongoing battle between intimate enemies.